This one got painful, fast. Let's get into it. Be me, Zoe, 28, and I'm sitting at my desk watching David walk past for the third time today. Regional manager position just opened up, and I've been stuck as a marketing coordinator for 18 freaking months. Time to make a move. David's our regional manager candidate. Mid-30s, recently divorced, if the tan line on his ring finger is any indication. Kind of nerdy in that I build computers on weekends, a way he mentioned once. Perfect. I lean back in my chair, watching him disappear into his office, and I can't help but smile. Because here's the thing nobody wants to admit. There's a shortcut. I figured it out junior year of college, and it's worked ever since. Economics 301, Professor Harrison. I was pulling a D-. Honestly couldn't care less about supply curves and market equilibrium. Stayed after class one day, asked for help with the midterm. He was late 40s, wedding ring, definitely not getting attention at home based on how his eyes lit up when I leaned forward on his desk. I'm just really struggling to understand the material, I'd said, biting my lip. Maybe we could meet outside class hours. I learn better one-on-one. 3 weeks later, I was getting private tutoring sessions at a Holiday Inn off campus. My grade went from failing to an A. Graduated with honors. Never had to actually learn economics. And here's what I realized. Men are so predictable, they act like they're logical, rational, all about merit and hard work. But give them attention they're not getting elsewhere? Suddenly, you're the smartest person in the room. Suddenly the rules don't apply. I'm not saying I'm proud of it, I'm just saying I'm realistic. Men created this game, corporate culture, power dynamics, the whole "it's not what you know, it's who you know" thing. I'm just playing smarter. My last job, I used the same approach with the department head. Got promoted over Sarah, who'd been there 3 years longer and honestly probably deserved it more. But Sarah believed in putting in the work and letting her results speak for themselves. Sweet girl. Never got anywhere. I left that job before things got messy. He started getting clingy, talking about leaving his wife, the whole thing. Moved to this company. Figured I'd keep my head down for a while, but 18 months is long enough. That evening, I do what any smart person would do. Research. I pull up David's Facebook. Not much there, pretty private, but his divorce was public record enough. I find his ex-wife's profile through mutual connections. Her name's Jennifer. I scroll through her photos and honestly, I'm shocked. She's plain. Like aggressively average. Bad highlights, mom jeans in every photo. That generic smile. No makeup game whatsoever. I look at myself in my phone's camera, then back at Jennifer's profile. Yeah, he's definitely going to be interested. If he was married to that for however many years and now he's single, a guy like David, nerdy tech bro, probably didn't get much attention in high school or college, married the first woman who said yes. And now he's divorced, and I'm showing interest. This is going to be even easier than I thought. I pull up his LinkedIn, scrolling through. Divorced 6 months ago based on the Facebook relationship status change. Tech guy, worked his way up from IT. Definitely doesn't get hit on by women like me. I can work with this. Zoe, you coming to the team meeting? Marcus pops his head over my cubicle wall. He's the senior coordinator, been here 4 years, probably thinks he's getting the regional manager spot. Yeah, 2 seconds. I close my phone. Marcus is the type who believes hard work pays off. He stays late, takes on extra projects, actually cares about the quarterly reports. It's kind of sad, honestly. We're the same age, but he acts like his dad, all company loyalty and earning your stripes. The meeting's the usual boring stuff, until Sandra from HR makes an announcement. As you know, we're looking to fill the regional manager position. Interviews will be conducted over the next 2 weeks, and we'll be making a decision before the annual company retreat next month. The retreat. 3 days at some resort, 2 hours away, team building exercises, forced fun. Usually I hate these things, but this year, it's perfect. I catch David's eye across the conference table and smile. He nods politely, then looks back at his laptop. He's careful. Professional. That's good. Means he's not an idiot. But it also means I need to be strategic. After the meeting, I'm walking back to my desk when I hear Marcus and David talking in the hallway. I'd really appreciate the opportunity to interview, Marcus is saying. I've been preparing a whole presentation on regional expansion strategies. Of course he has. I'll be interviewing all qualified candidates, David says. Just submit your request through the portal. That's when I know I need to differentiate myself. Marcus is going to walk in there with spreadsheets and projections. Boring. Predictable. I'm going to give David something he actually wants. That evening, I'm on the phone with my friend Britt while I'm doing my skincare routine. So you're really going to do this? She asks. Do what? Interview for a promotion I'm qualified for? Zoe, come on, I know that tone. I laugh. I'm just saying there's more than one way to stand out in a competitive environment. That's called being strategic. It's called sleeping your way to the top. First of all, rude. Second, I prefer to think of it as leveraging all available assets. Men do it all the time. They golf with the bosses, go to strip clubs, all that old boys club stuff. How is this different? Because it is. Okay, well, you keep believing that. I'll keep getting promoted. She sighs. Just be careful. What if he reports you? For what? Being friendly? Please. He's a divorced guy who spends his weekends building computers. I looked up his ex-wife. Trust me, he's not going to report me. After we hang up, I look at myself in the mirror. I'm not delusional. I know exactly what I'm doing. But here's the thing. Everyone misses. I'm also good at my job. My campaigns perform well. Clients like me, I hit my targets. I just also happen to understand that relationships matter in business. And if that relationship happens to involve some flirting and strategic attention, that's just smart business. I fall asleep planning my next move. Monday morning, I stop at the coffee shop downstairs from our office. I order my usual, then add a large black coffee. I remember David mentioning he drinks it black, no fuss, as he'd said. I time my elevator ride to match his usual arrival. Sure enough, he walks in at 8:47 a.m. Morning, I say brightly, holding up the extra coffee. Got one for you? Figured you could use it on a Monday. He looks surprised. Oh, thanks, Zoe. You didn't have to. I was getting one anyway. I hand it to him. Our fingers brush. Black, right? Yeah. Good memory. The elevator's empty except for us. 7 floors. So, about that regional position, I say casually, I'm planning to apply. Any advice for the interview process? Just be prepared to discuss your campaign results and your vision for the role. Professional, neutral. I'd love to pick your brain about it sometime. Maybe over lunch? The elevator dings. 5th floor. My calendar's pretty packed, but shoot me an email. We can figure something out. Not a yes, but not a no. Over the next week, I make myself visible. I stay late on Tuesday. He stays late most Tuesdays working on reports. I find an excuse to ask him about a client account, even though I could have figured it out myself. Sorry to bother you, I say, appearing in his doorway around 7 p.m. Do you have 2 seconds? I'm trying to understand the Morrison account strategy. He waves me in. Sure. What's the confusion? I sit in the chair across from his desk, crossing my legs deliberately. I lean forward as he explains, making sure he notices. Nodding, asking follow-up questions, touching my collarbone when I laugh at his joke about the client's ridiculous requests. You're really good at this, I say when he finishes. Explaining things, I mean. Makes sense why you're being considered for regional. It's just experience. Still. Some people have experience and can't communicate worth a damn. I hold his gaze a beat longer than necessary. Anyway, thanks. I'll let you get back to it. No problem. As I leave, I feel it. That shift in energy. He's noticing. Wednesday, I catch him in the break room. It's mid-morning, no one else around. How's the coffee holding up? I joke, grabbing a mug. It was great. You really didn't have to do that, though. I know, I wanted to. I pour my coffee slowly, giving him time to look. I'm wearing a blouse that's professional, but shows just enough. How's the interview process going? Lots of candidates? A few qualified people? Still early stages? Marcus is probably preparing some insane presentation. I roll my eyes affectionately. He's so extra about everything. David laughs. He's thorough. That's not a bad quality. No, totally. Just sometimes you need to read the room, you know? Like, it's also about cultural fit, whether people can actually work together. I pause, then add with a slight smile, whether they'd want to spend time together outside the office. I take a sip of my coffee, maintaining eye contact. Chemistry matters. It does, he agrees, but his tone stays professional. I move past him to add sugar, letting my arm brush his. Anyway, good luck with all the interviews. I'm sure it's exhausting. Part of the job. I smile and head back to my desk, feeling confident. He's engaged, responding, not shutting it down. By the second week, I've established a pattern. Morning coffee runs where I accidentally get him one. Staying late when he stays late. Finding reasons to ask questions, touch his arm during conversations, laugh at his jokes in team meetings. Marcus notices. On Thursday, he corners me by the printer. You applying for regional manager? He asks. Yeah. You? Obviously. He adjusts his glasses. Been preparing for weeks. I'm sure you'll do great. He looks at me weird. Just keep it professional, okay? What's that supposed to mean? Nothing. Forget it. But I know exactly what he means. He's noticed the attention I'm giving David, and he's jealous. Friday afternoon, Sandra sends out an email. Interviews will be conducted the week before the company retreat. All candidates should submit their formal applications by end of day. I submit mine, then I do something else. I walk to David's office around 5:30 p.m. when most people have left. Hey, you got a minute? He looks up from his laptop. Sure. What's up? I just submitted my application. I know I'm younger than some of the other candidates, less tenure here, but... I sit down across from him, leaning forward earnestly. I really want this, and I think we'd work really well together. Your application will be reviewed like everyone else's. I know. I just wanted you to know I'm serious about this. About... I pause, let the ambiguity hang there. About working closely with you, in whatever capacity that takes. He holds my gaze for a moment, and I can't quite read his expression. I appreciate your enthusiasm, he finally says. The interview will be your chance to make your case. Looking forward to it. I stand to leave, then turn back. And David, I hope you know you can be yourself around me. No judgment. Life's too short to not enjoy the company of people who appreciate you. I'll keep that in mind. Walking back to my desk, I allow myself a small smile. Hook. Set. That weekend, I screenshot some of my best campaign results, practice my talking points, pick out my interview outfit. But I'm not preparing like Marcus is preparing. I'm not building presentations. I'm planning how to make David see me as more than just a candidate. Monday morning, the interviews begin. The retreat is at some resort an hour outside the city. 3 days of team building, trust falls, forced bonding over catered meals. Usually I'd hate this. This year, I'm counting on it. My interview was 2 days ago. I wore a fitted dress, professional, but definitely noticed. Asked all the right questions, mentioned specific results, threw in strategic touches, leaning forward when discussing collaborative projects, maintaining eye contact, ending with, I think you and I could accomplish a lot together. David's expression stayed neutral. We'll be making a decision after the retreat. Thanks for your time, Zoe. Non-committal. But that's fine. The retreat's where things really happen. We arrive Wednesday afternoon. The resort's nice. Conference center attached to a hotel, outdoor pool area, restaurant with a bar. I scope it out immediately. Opportunities. The first team building activity is this ridiculous thing where we're split into groups and have to build structures out of random office supplies. I maneuver onto David's team, along with Marcus, 2 people from sales, and someone from IT. Zoe, maybe you should work on the presentation portion, Marcus suggests, trying to sideline me. Actually, I think we should collaborate on the structure first, I counter, moving closer to David. What do you think? Foundation first, right? Makes sense, David agrees. I make sure to touch his arm while handing him supplies, laugh extra loud at his suggestions, position myself so we're working side by side. The sales team members exchange glances. We don't win, but David compliments my creativity. Good instincts, he says. Learn from the best, I reply, holding his gaze. Marcus rolls his eyes so hard, I'm surprised they don't fall out. That evening, there's a casual dinner and drinks by the resort bar. I wear jeans and a low-cut top, still appropriate, but definitely not corporate. I position myself at David's table, monopolizing the conversation. I ask him about his divorce, only if you're comfortable sharing. And he gives me the basics. Amicable split, grew apart, no kids. That must have been hard, I say softly, putting my hand on his thigh under the table. But you seem like you're in a good place now, ready for new experiences. He doesn't move my hand immediately, just smiles, takes a sip of his beer. Getting there, he says. My heart races. This is it. He's into it. Then he glances at his phone. Actually, I should take this call. Client in a different time zone. He excuses himself, my hand falling away. Playing it safe around the group, I tell myself. Smart. Day 2. Morning workshops about synergy and communication styles. Boring. But lunch is when Sandra makes an announcement. David will be conducting brief one-on-one check-ins with regional manager candidates during afternoon free time. My slot? 4 p.m. I spend an hour getting ready. Hair perfect, makeup natural but enhanced, outfit that walks the line between professional and suggestive. The meeting's in a small conference room at the resort. Doors open, probably HR policy or something. Come in, Zoe. Have a seat. I sit across from him, crossing my legs deliberately. He's taking notes on his laptop. So, I wanted to follow up on your interview, he begins. Can you talk me through your Morrison campaign results in more detail? I do, but I make sure to lean forward, to let my voice drop slightly, to maintain eye contact. When I finish, I add, I really admire your leadership style, David. You create this environment where people feel comfortable, valued. I love working late when the office is quiet, when it's just serious people who care about the work. People like us. He types something. What's your management philosophy? We go back and forth for 15 minutes. Professional questions, professional answers, but I'm layering in subtext with every response. Collaboration, chemistry, understanding what motivates people. When the interview ends, I stand, smoothing my skirt. Thanks for your time, he says. Thank you. I pause at the door, lowering my voice. You know, if you ever wanted to continue this conversation somewhere more private, I'd be open to that. No pressure. Just putting it out there. He nods, expression unreadable. Walking back to my room, I'm vibrating with confidence. He has to have gotten the message. That evening, there's a pool social. I wear a swimsuit I bought specifically for this. Red, flattering, impossible not to notice. David's there in board shorts and a t-shirt, talking to people from accounting. I grab a drink and position myself nearby, jumping into the conversation naturally. After about 20 minutes, most people drift away. It's just us and 2 people from sales who are focused on their own conversation. I seize the moment. I pull out my phone, pull up his contact, and send, Room 347 if you want to discuss the role. Privately, wink face. I see him glance at his phone. He reads it, then looks up at me. Our eyes meet across the pool. He doesn't smile, just looks back down at his phone and keeps talking to the sales team. I wait in my room for 45 minutes, showered and ready. He doesn't show. Okay. He's being extremely careful. Worried about being seen, probably. I came on too strong with the text. I rationalize it all away and fall asleep, planning tomorrow. Final day, breakfast is casual. People are tired, ready to go home. I spot David in the hallway after I grab coffee. Hey, I say, approaching him. This retreat went by fast. It did. I was thinking, when we get back to the city, maybe we could grab coffee? Just us. I'd love to hear more about your vision for the regional role, and, I smile, get to know you better outside of all this. His expression shifts. Professional, slightly cold. I don't think that's appropriate given the circumstances, Zoe. My stomach drops. Oh, I just meant as a mentoring thing. Professional development. I understand, but I don't think it's a good idea. He walks away. I stand there, coffee cup shaking slightly in my hand. Did I misread? No. He was into it. He must be just being extra cautious because the decision hasn't been announced yet. That's all. On the bus ride back, I see David talking quietly with Sandra, the HR rep. They're 2 rows ahead. I can't hear what they're saying, but at one point, they both glance back in my direction. My stomach twists. No. I'm being paranoid. Everything's fine. Monday morning. Email from Sandra at 9:47 a.m. Please come to my office at 2 p.m. today. I stare at the screen, heart pounding. This is it. They're telling me early. I got it. I pick my outfit carefully. Professional, modest, gracious winner energy. Practice my humble acceptance. I'm honored. I won't let you down. At 1:58 p.m., I walk to Sandra's office. David's already there. The door closes behind me. Have a seat, Zoe. Sandra's voice is neutral. I sit, noticing the folder on her desk. Manila. Thick. We need to discuss some concerns about workplace conduct, Sandra begins. My heart stops. She opens the folder. I see printed text, messages, the room number text, security camera stills from the conference room showing me leaning forward, hand on David's arm. David reported feeling uncomfortable with repeated advances. We also received statements from 3 colleagues who observed inappropriate behavior during the retreat. What? My voice cracks. No, we were just friendly. He's misunderstanding. Zoe. David's voice is calm, too calm. I gave you benefit of the doubt initially, but the text message to my personal phone, the physical contact, the explicit verbal suggestions about meeting privately, the invitation to your hotel room, I had to document everything to protect myself. I never indicated interest beyond professional mentorship. That's not... I informed Sandra 3 weeks ago when I first noticed the pattern, he continues. Since then, I've been careful to ensure our interactions were witnessed or recorded. The conference room at the office has security cameras. The interview at the retreat had the door open with witnesses nearby. My mouth goes dry. Sandra slides witness statements across the desk. I recognize names, the sales team members from the pool, someone from accounting. This is insane, I say, voice rising. He's clearly interested and now he's backtracking to cover his... Ms. Torres, Sandra cuts me off. Your text messages alone constitute workplace sexual harassment. We have documentation spanning 3 weeks. If you're considering claiming he initiated contact, I'd strongly advise against it. The room spins. You're removed from consideration for the regional manager position, effective immediately. You're required to attend a follow-up meeting tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. You're dismissed. I walk back to my desk in a daze. People are staring. They know. Somehow, everyone already knows. Marcus won't look at me. I hear someone whisper, sleeping her way to the top. I pack my laptop bag and leave. Early. Nobody stops me. Wednesday, 9 a.m. Sandra's office again. This time, there's a VP I've never met. Based on our investigation, you violated company policy regarding workplace harassment. We're terminating your employment effective immediately. I'm the victim here. I try one last time. This is retaliation, Ms. Torres. The VP's voice is ice. We have your explicit text messages, video evidence of you initiating physical contact, 3 written statements from the retreat. Don't insult our intelligence. Security escorts me to my desk. I have to pack my things while everyone watches. As I'm carrying my box out, I see Marcus being called into Sandra's office. He's getting it. The promotion I thought was mine. In my car, I sit with the box on my passenger seat and try to breathe. They're just covering their asses legally. David was interested. He had to have been. Men do this all the time and nothing happens. But the doubt creeps in anyway. Professor Harrison. What happened to him after I graduated? My last job. Why did they seem relieved when I quit? David's ex-wife's face flashes in my mind. Plain, average Jennifer. I'd been so sure that meant he'd want me. Maybe I misread everything. No. This is just corporate politics. Systems that hold women back. Men protecting men. I don't know anymore. 1 week later, I'm scrolling LinkedIn from my apartment. Can't help myself. Congratulations to Marcus Chen on his promotion to regional manager. Well-deserved recognition for 4 years of excellent work. 40 comments, everyone from the office praising him. So deserved. Great choice. Best person for the job. A message pops up from someone I knew in college. Heard what happened. Professor Harrison got fired 2 years after we graduated. Title Neon investigation, multiple students. My hands shake. I start typing. I didn't know. Delete it. Close the laptop. Sit in the silence of my apartment. Mind racing through every interaction, every choice, every time I thought I was being smart. I thought I had it all figured out. This one made my skin crawl, like genuinely. Ashley?
Dude, I hated her from sentence 1. The way she's just casually describing seducing her professor like it's a life hack? I wanted to throw my phone.
Never had to actually learn economics. Like that's a flex and not a confession of academic fraud. And then she looks up David's ex-wife on Facebook just to confirm she's hotter.
Who does that? That's legit psycho behavior. She's studying this woman's photos like she's gathering intel. For a mission.
Because in her mind, she is. She's got this whole framework. Men created this game. I'm just playing smarter. No, Zoe. Sexual harassment isn't strategy.
Her friend Britt tried to warn her, though. It's called sleeping your way to the top. And Zoe just deflects with leveraging all available assets. Girl, that's not business vocabulary. That's just being gross.
The coffee thing got me. She's timing when he arrives, memorizing how he takes it, buying it without asking. If a guy did that to a woman, showed up at her office at 7 p.m., touched her arm, talked about chemistry, we'd call it what it is.
Oh God, the retreat. When she texts him her room number with the winky face. That's not even flirting anymore. That's just straight up propositioning your boss during a work event.
And she sits there for 45 minutes waiting. Then when he doesn't show, instead of thinking, maybe I crossed a line, she's like, he's just being careful. Zero self-awareness.
I had a coworker once who kept commenting on my outfits, and I felt so trapped because if I said something, he'd be like, it's just a compliment. Relax. This gave me that same energy, but flipped.
Exactly. Harassment isn't about gender, it's about unwanted attention and power. Zoe was the aggressor. David couldn't even reject her without risking his career.
3 weeks of documentation, though. Security cameras, witnesses. He built an entire legal case because she wouldn't take no for an answer.
That's not backtracking, that's survival. And when she gets fired, she's still trying to claim she's the victim. He was clearly interested. No, Zoe, you just wouldn't stop.
Marcus getting the promotion felt so satisfying. Like he actually did the work, stayed late for real reasons, built presentations, and he got it.
Meanwhile, Zoe's at home, finding out Professor Harrison got fired for Title IX violations. probably because of students like her.
Okay, wait, real talk though. Matt, be honest. If you were a girl, would you ever use your looks to get ahead?
I mean, that's a loaded question. I'd like to think no, but I don't know what it's like to have that as an option. Why would you?
Okay, fine. Honest answer, like maybe sometimes in small ways. Not like Zoe level insane, but if I know wearing a certain outfit helps in a meeting or smiling at the right moment gets me taken more seriously. Yeah, I've probably done that.
See, but there's a difference between presenting yourself well and what Zoe did. You're not texting room numbers or touching people's thighs under tables.
Oh God, no, that's not strategy, that's harassment. I'm talking like knowing how to work a room, not whatever predator behavior she was doing.
Right? And I think most people get that distinction. Zoe crossed like 15 lines and kept going.
The scary part is she genuinely thought she was the smart one. Like the whole time she's thinking, men are so predictable, and it's like, no, girl, you're just a predator who found a pattern.
And even at the end, when she's sitting there with the cardboard box finding out about the professor, she still doesn't fully get it. Maybe I misread. No. You sexually harassed someone. There's no ambiguity.
Do you think she actually learns or just gets sneakier at the next job?
I think she's scared now. The Title IX thing shook her. But being scared isn't the same as understanding why what you did was wrong. She'd have to completely rebuild how she sees herself.
Honestly, this one's tough because we don't talk about women being predators enough. Like it happens and we just pretend it doesn't.
Because it's uncomfortable. Easier to assume it's always men abusing power. But Zoe had power, manipulation, looks, the threat of a false accusation. She just met a guy smart enough to document everything.
Moral of the story: if someone won't take no for an answer, build a paper trail. And if you made it this far, be sure to smash that like button and subscribe. See you in the next one.
Wait, I do the sign off.
Too late. Already said it.
You're the worst.
Love you too. Bye, guys.